us on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of the night living in the gangster's paradise.
Welcome in. Happy Friday. This is your all access pass to the headlines that have been keeping your timeline lit. I'm Jill Munroe. This is KBLA Talk 1580. And you know what it is. We're going to get into these trending topics. First up, happy heavenly birthday, Coolio. This was an unexpected flip of a Stevie Wonder sample. I think so. This one, Pastime Paradise. You didn't know this was a Stevie sample, Andy? Shame on you.
I'm a youngin'.
You are a youngin', but you're usually on top of those type of things. You usually know. It's a Stevie sample, so, you know, kind of a flip. And then what was the big dude that tried to live forever that was singing the hook on that?
LV.
LV, yeah. Lost. Never mind. All right, you guys, look, tonight, you already know, we are getting into messy marketing, music myths, and media moments, all M's. We're for all the smoke today. We're going to get into these topics because in a world where the internet is always yelling, I'm here to make sure your voice is heard. And, you know, I'm giving you the facts, the tea, the, what do they say? There's another new, you know, I'm doing the finger motion for you guys that can't see it. So, shout out to that. You know, if you haven't gotten updated on that, go check out your latest TikTok video from the kids and they'll show you, because, you know, I try to make sure to bridge the different timelines, the kids, the millennials, the Gen Xers, maybe a boomer or two.
I don't know if we got too many youngsters over here.
We probably don't, but, you know, we might have a high, low-ranking millennial,
That's
maybe,
right.
that pops in. Shout out to you. You know, we appreciate that. Okay, so look, tonight we're getting into a lot of things. Have you seen the American Eagle denim campaign for Sydney Sweeney? Kind of reminds you of the Brooke Shields, Calvin Klein campaign back in the 80s. Well, it stirred up a lot of controversy, a lot of debate. American Eagle has finally spoken out about it, and we'll get into kind of what the conversation is about that topic. Your guy, Wale, he says that in these days, right now, currently, people aren't really taking the time to listen to albums and give it a fair critique. You can't listen to an album one time, 15 minutes, be out, and deem it an instant classic or trash. You just can't. But that's what we do right now. So we're going to get into what he had to say about that. We are also getting into, listen, Tyler, the Creator, he's always something different. If you haven't checked out his new video, his new single, the clips are in it. Maverick and LeBron are in it, which was an interesting pairing. You know, shout out to Hawthorne's own, Inglewood's own, Ladera Heights' own, Tyler, the Creator. He gets it in. But he talked about having never taken a drink or a smoke in his entire life. And he's been heavily into the music industry and around a sphere of influence that indulges. So we'll get into what he had to say about it, why he sidestepped it, and his thoughts, because I think it's an important conversation. Just because you choose not to doesn't mean that you have shade for the ones that do, and you can still be your own person and work through all of that. Plus, we have an interview coming up with Anthony Mackie and Stephanie Beatriz. They are the stars of the Peacock series Twisted Metal. It's season 2 just dropped there, so we'll hear from them. And in studio to help me break down all of these topics is the return of Trent Jackson, Trent the Artist. So we're going to get into all of that on the other side when we come forward. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Exciting news, ladies! Always Discreet Boutique Bladder Leak underwear are available in black and printed design. Protect yourself with style. These fit and feel just like real underwear, and they give you up to 0 leaks, 0 odor. Designed for all shapes and sizes, they give you the confidence to be fully yourself. Don't let bladder leaks hold you back. Buy Always Discreet Boutique Bladder Leak underwear now.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Men spending most of their lives living in a pastime paradise.
Welcome back in. We are sample clearers here. So, you know, we're gonna bring up the fact that something's a sample. Sometimes we'll flip the original for you. Shout out to my fellow Taurian, Stevie Wonder. Andy's first hit of this. Stevie's that dude, like when you get into his catalog, like I think we forget. We don't really get into it enough. He's been sampled here and there, but he's tight with his music, which I totally respect and understand. And he's here. So we mostly get jokes about whether or not Stevie can see. And I think people respect his artistry, but getting into his catalog is something else. Andy?
Should we be talking about Stevie the way we do about Michael Jackson, the way we do about Prince?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Okay.
And I think he was, a catalyst in some ways, obviously closely influencing Michael because they were both on Motown. And think about the songs that he produced. I did not realize until maybe a couple of years ago that Stevie Wonder was on the background of Let's Get Serious for Jermaine Jackson.
Really?
And here's my thing. One of my favorite parts of the song when it's SEIROUS. How did I not know that was freaking Stevie Wonder? Just and the growl and just the way he can go from the high to the low, his pen game. Listen.
He wrote that song. Hi, by the way.
Hi. Trent Jackson, Trent the artist, is joining us. Special occasion. He's back. Limited time only. Get him while you're hot.
Yeah.
So I feel like Stevie is an underappreciated talent. And, me included, I throw around the words legend and iconic frequently, because I feel that there are legendary and iconic things in different, facets and formats, right? But really, really, when you really talk about these things, he is one of those ones. Truly, honestly. So there's that.
I was just laughing at something in the chat about Stevie Wonder. Shaka Khan also perpetuated that rumor.
That Stevie can see.
In addition to Shaq, yeah.
Shout out to Shaka. I love me some Shaka.
She's funny.
Khan. So, listen, I got a couple of quick updates before we get into this Sydney Sweeney story. Portia Williams, booked and busy. She's joining NBC's Brilliant Minds for season 2 as a gossip-loving Upper West Side housewife. So,
playing herself
a little bit, but Upper West Side, not Southern Belle socialite.
Maybe it is a precursor to her next upgrade move. She'll marry to somebody on the Upper West Side.
Perhaps. The Real Housewives to primetime.
Life imitates art.
Camera is on its way and popping, right? Shout out to them. Justin Timberlake recently revealed that he is suffering from Lyme disease. He says that he's adjusting to his new health routine, and that might have contributed to some of the things that you saw or didn't on his last tour that he was just recently out on. It is interesting to me that so many celebrities are getting Lyme disease currently.
Maybe
are they hiking quite a bit? Like, what's happening?
They were all at that one party together, and they all got it at different times.
I'm just saying, it
allegedly.
Like, Lyme disease, there are a number of ticks in the world. Yeah. I don't know. And it is just interesting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No conspiracy theories, just saying that. For those of you that were fans of And Just Like That, the sequel series to Sex and the City, the TV show, and films. It's wrapping up after the 3rd season. HBO said that the series needed to end on a high note, but ratings may have forced the curtain call. Really, I don't know if it's been living up to the hype. There are a lot of people that have issues with the storylines and some of the developments. But it is going to be a 2-part season-ending finale. So say your goodbyes. I know what was going on when they killed off Big, but personally that, took a little bit of the zest out of it for me. You like whatever.
Well, TV's not that good anymore. Let's just be real.
Everyone's
getting bored. We need something to shake the table and flip it over.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this Sydney Sweeney topic. Now, Sydney Sweeney is an actress, a white actress. Mm-hmm. If you checked her out on Euphoria, she is very curvaceous. A lot of people are attracted to her for her body, her assets, right? I think she also had a role in, what is the Netflix show with the women in the hoods, and we're basically living in that time now?
Yeah, I refuse to watch it.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yes.
I can't think of the name.
Yes, I stopped at
right
season
now.
2 where they were out in the baseball field. I said, I can't take it. It's getting too real. Let me move very close to the border so I can be out when it goes down.
So Sydney, popular young actress, her family is MAGA leaning, and
aren't they all secretly?
That's been a source of contingent with some of the fan base, right? But her recent campaign, right? She's in American Eagle's latest ad campaign, and some feel like this is good branding meeting a bad read of the room. Basically, so like I said, it kind of puts you in the mindset of the 80s commercials featuring Brooke Shields for Calvin Klein's, where she would say things like, nothing comes between me and my Calvins, as she'd be scooching into the skin-tight jeans, or reading various collegiate dissertations and talking about intelligence and, you know, her Calvins. Well, Sydney, her new campaign is with the tagline, Sydney Sweeney Has Great Jeans, right? Also a double entendre, a play off of the fact that she's blonde, blue-eyed, and generally considered attractive. But some people are taking what was supposed to be a cute pun, and they are running with it, and they are fully upset about the campaign, right? Obviously, great jeans, denim, great jeans, she's attractive. But people are saying that it leans into the eugenist type thing. Is that how you pronounce that word? Eugenics, right. Okay, so they feel that it's coded language around whiteness, thinness, and all-American beauty standards, right? Probably things that correlate with Make America Great Again. Critics accuse American Eagle of glorifying Eurocentric ideals and stroking subtle racial messaging. The backlash got so loud that even Trump-era White House comms manager has weighed in, calling it a cancel culture run amok. Basically that the naysayers are doing too much. Even the VP weighed in. He said on a conservative podcast, he framed the criticism as proof the Democrats are losing touch with America. A&E responded, AE, not A&E, not the network, American Eagle, responded via social, this campaign is about the jeans, her story, so they're not backing down. But when your denim commercial gets compared to Nazi propaganda, the jeans aren't the problem. Maybe it is the playbook and just where we currently are. Sweeney has remained silent about this, but, you know, is it about her or not? Is it another case on brands betting on viral aesthetics? Do you think they leaned into the controversy? Because we don't talk really about American Eagle currently. That feels like, you know, that was more 2000-ish when they were popping and active. And so what are your thoughts, Trent, on the controversy?
That brand has always been aligned with white America. It caters to them. It's for them. It's their brand. You go into their stores. I mean, come on. It's beige and white. I mean, we need color, first of all. The clothes are not that cute. But no, it's geared toward, it's not a brand that we actually buy into. It's for teenagers. It's for young adults. No one is interested in that, and no one cares about it. And since it's geared toward them and catered toward them, just like a lot of other stuff, let them have it. So what? We know what it is when we see it. And we shouldn't get bothered by it, especially if we don't pay attention to it or support it.
Do you think that sometimes we ring the alarm on things like, I get the point, but in the grand scheme of things, to your point, let this roll through and keep it moving? Or is it a case of we've done too much of that, letting things skirt by, and this is how we find ourselves in the situation that we are currently in because we kind of, you know, tossed it to the side and was like, I don't give a about all of that. What are they talking about? We got this.
Well, no, I think we've done a better job at stepping up for the things that we put our money into, like Target and Walmart and those stores. And speaking up, we have in the past let a lot of things slide, but the newer generations, we don't let things slide, and people do speak up. So I think we have a nice balance. And I think that we've gotten better at, particularly in this era that we're in now, we've gotten better at staying out of things that don't pertain to us so we can focus more on us. And that's what I like seeing.
Truemonger in the chat says, sounds like some Nazi talk. Morris Phillips says, I disagree. Sydney ain't built like a sister. Please stop. I didn't say she was built like a sister, but, again, we have our lens. Sometimes they have theirs.
Yeah.
Sometimes they cross. And for a certain segment of the population, perhaps not the black segment, they like what they like, and that is one of the things that they like. No shade, no tea to Sydney at all.
Yeah.
Truemonger also says, I ain't tripping about some jeans I would never buy or women I would never deal with. Black folks give white folks too much money as it is.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I just think that,
I don't think this is a real brand that we really, patronize. Not a lot of us. Some of us, but not a lot of us.
But we're still involved in the pushback behind the campaign, even though it's a brand that, we largely overlook.
They have to blame somebody.
Andy.
For the homies that was out there doing their thing in the streets, American Eagle was their #1 attire.
Oh, you mean no day, no sleep, no day, all night? I'm in the no face, no case, no conversation.
That's funny.
Listen, side note, I didn't drop this, guys. Didn't drop this on you guys. 800-920-1580. If at any point you want to get in on the conversation, you can also hit us up on social media. Stiletto Jill, KBLA 1580. And as you see, the YouTube chat is already chatting. So shout out to them because they're getting it in. So, I mean, I think, like you, this is something that we could bypass. Like, let it move around because so what?
Yeah, so what? Let's move on.
I think to your point, I would prefer for us to give our attention to things that matter. Although, once again, I want to be clear. I'm not sidestepping what representation does and means for the culture and how these things can subtly, be a dog whistle for other items. We have Fahima from DC on the line. Welcome in, Fahima. How are you this evening?
Fahima, our friend.
Greetings, Jill. What's up, Trent?
Fahima, how are you? Thanks for calling in as usual.
Good to see you.
Likewise.
Good to see you in the space day. Boom.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I thought I would beat Eric to the phone tonight.
Oh, good one. That's funny. I want him to call so bad tonight.
Well, he will. What I was going to say is, prior to this American Eagle scuttlebutt, there was a whole thing around the Ralph Lauren, Oak Bluff, dandyism, and somebody actually tried to create a class war. I'm gonna DM the clip to you, but it was really silly. I'm not of that ilk. I've never been to Martha's Vineyard, but I mean, black people come in every hue and stripe. There's no one unique black experience, and if we want to embrace that aspect of the culture, have at it.
Indeed. I like I said, I would like one of the pieces. I have to make sure that they haven't all sold out. The one that I was eyeing. I think that, we get locked into what many view as a shared aspect of the black experience. And, coming up, some of the things that are maybe explored in Martha's Vineyard, what Oak Bluffs represent, for some might be white stuff, or acting bougie, and they don't connect to it. But there's a lot of history there too, and there's history for everyone. And I feel like, not saying that you have to go and be bougie, but it's good to step outside of your environment and see other experiences from other black people. Just makes you more well-rounded as an individual.
Well, absolutely. Just very briefly, there was a series that was on during COVID called Our Kind of People, and I was really sorry that they canceled the series.
Yeah.
And it focused on black people on the vineyard and the historical significance. But anyway, that's all I wanted to share, and I guess Eric will be my chaser.
Thank you as always for calling in, Fahima. We appreciate your commentary.
Have a good night.
So the chat is funny. They're chatting. Listen, I think that to the point, we have segments that we can raise up too, even though I know these things are being chipped away at. What is okay for us to talk about, what is legal, we can still uplift it and show light to it in other ways. And as far as this Sydney Sweeney controversy, hard pass, man. Hard pass.
Yeah, we can move on to something that's more important.
So we'll get into a little bit of what Wale had to say before, and then we'll come back to it. But he said we're cooked, basically. He has always been one of the more introspective artists, I believe. And he's pulling back the curtain on what he calls the death of real music critique, right? This was in a new interview with Complex, and he says social media has turned everything into a room full of gazillion people screaming. There's 50 million album reviews 15 minutes after the album drops, and it's either a classic or it's trash. He specifically called out black music being devalued when people dislike the artist personally. And of course, Wale would know about that. So he's had some experiences. When we come forward, we'll get into a little bit of how music is critiqued, how we listen to music these days, and is music still valued and upheld to us culturally as it was before we got to this point of endless scrolling. So we'll get into all of that and more when we come forward.
Of suckers claim I do crime. They on my time ticket.
Hey yo, Chuck, I think we taking shots. Show 'em this is Cole Medina, man. Come on, kick it.
Terminator X. Terminator X. Terminator
X. Are you ready for the hottest entertainment scoop in Los Angeles? She's bringing you exclusive interviews with today's biggest stars, behind-the-scenes Hollywood insights, and all the entertainment news you need to know. She's breaking down what's trending, what's ending, and what's just beginning in the world of entertainment. You're riding with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Former President Joe Biden says minority communities are under attack by the Trump administration.
And they're doing it all too often with the help of a Congress that's just sitting on the sidelines.
Speaking at the annual gala of the National Bar Association, which is the nation's oldest and largest network of black legal professionals, Biden warned that gains made during his term are being rolled back and called the current fight the most serious since the 1960s. Prosecutors want a longer prison sentence for Sean Diddy Combs, who was convicted on 2 counts of transporting for prostitution. He faces up to 10 years per count. They're also fighting his request for $50 million bail ahead of his October 3rd sentencing. And black Illinois Congressman Danny Davis is retiring at 83 and will not seek a 16th term. He's endorsing State Senator LaShawn Ford to succeed him. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's a tough drive in Encino with a wreck on the 101 northbound past Balboa. The right lane is blocked. Delays away from Coldwater Canyon. Also in Woodland Hills on the south 101 past DeSoto. A wreck is being cleared out of lanes, and that's keeping you on the brakes getting away from Mulholland Drive. It's tough in Corona with a wreck. 91 westbound Auto Center. 2 left lanes are blocked. Delays are backing up away from Main Street, getting out of the Corona area, and the 15 northbound into the Cajon Pass. Delays leaving the 210 all the way to the 138.
Spending 2 hours staring at the back of someone's bumper isn't the best way to end your day. So Jack in the Box is giving you a bonus with their new Bonus Jack Combo. Fries, a drink, and a burger with your choice of 1, 2, or 3 patties, starting at just $4.49. Get so much more.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. If you've never taken the time to watch the ceremony, you really should tune in tomorrow. Tight end Antonio Gates, who played all 16 of his NFL seasons with the Chargers, is one of the Hall of Fame inductees. He's the first NFL player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame who did not play college football. Gates played basketball at Kent State University. He led Kent State to the Elite Eight in the 2002 NCAA tournament. Gates was not drafted by any NBA teams. No NFL team drafted him. The Chargers took a chance on Gates in 2003 and signed him as a rookie free agent. Today, Gates' 116 touchdown catches is the most by a tight end in NFL history. Gates also is the Chargers' all-time leader with 955 catches and 11,841 receiving yards. Not bad for a guy who really wanted to play in the NBA. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, also known as AD, a type of dementia that affects memory, thinking, and behavior, making everyday tasks challenging. But did you know that Black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? There are things you can do to help reduce your risk for developing AD. Managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure is crucial. Staying physically active, maintaining social connections, eating a healthy diet, and keeping your mind engaged with activities like reading or puzzles can all contribute to brain health. It's also important to recognize some common signs and symptoms of early AD, such as forgetfulness that causes problems with everyday life, asking the same question a few times in a row, and difficulty concentrating on basic tasks. If you see these signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Early diagnosis and intervention are key to managing AD effectively. To learn more about AD and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, Chaka Khan, let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, that's all I wanna do, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, Chaka Khan. Let me rock it, got a feel for you, Chaka Khan. What you tell me what you wanna do? Do you feel for me the way I feel for you, Chaka Khan? Let me tell you what I wanna do. I wanna love you, wanna hug you, wanna squeeze you too. But let me take it in my arms, let me feel you with my charm, Chaka. Cause you know that I'm the one to keep you warm, Chaka. I make it more than just a physical dream. I wanna rock you, Chaka, baby, cause you make me wanna scream. Let me rock it, rock it.
Welcome back in. You're locked in with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580. Shout out to Chaka Khan. Shout out to Prince. Shout out to Chris the Glove Taylor and Melly Mel. Shout out to them all. And Norma Kamali, because that was the fashion designer that was featured in this video. You know, I got all the history on this because this is my jam. Big ups to Shaka. Andy.
And who was that rapper?
Melly Mel.
Shout outs.
Chris the Glove Taylor on the scratch. But, you know, shout out to all of them. Listen, we are talking music. We are talking critiques. We are talking Wale. So I gave you a bit about what he said in the interview. One of the final things that he added into was, you could write a song that has so much depth to it, but because the popular reactor or streamer hasn't dived into it, the audience is like, oh, nah, that sucks. It's hard to say that opinions are valuable now, right? That is his perspective. And I don't think that it's that opinions aren't valuable. I think that there is a quick reaction, and then there's those that take the time to really, you know, listen to it. For me, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 listens to catch all the nuances, the things that are added in, maybe a sample, maybe the inspiration, maybe the intricacy of the lyrics. And I really don't think that we have that. I am a big proponent of sequencing. I think the order in which an album lays out has a lot to do with
super important
sonically how it comes across and the feelings, the journey that it takes you on. I think that we have lost some of that, obviously, because we stream. We automatically hit shuffle. We don't listen to things as they are intended to be experienced. So I think that is, you know, one thing. And I also think the desire for clicks, you know, and the ability to hear everybody's opinion, sometimes whether you want to or not. I say this as someone who opines for a living, that I recognize that sometimes your opinion isn't needed, or even if you have one, doesn't need to be shared. Again, recognizing that this is what I do for a living. Andy?
I agree with Wale wholeheartedly, 100%. I'm also a victim of it as well, too. I'll listen to an album and I probably won't listen to it again. I feel like the most recent album that I actually double back, triple back, quadruple back was Kendrick.
GNX.
You already know.
I bumped that religiously.
And, you know, it's I see that dialogue as we speak right now with this Clips album. You know, a lot of people are talking about how much of a classic it is. I'll be honest with you. I listened to it once. I don't know if I would call it a classic. But I will say this, though, right? We have not seen an album rollout like that in a long time.
I appreciated the traditional album rollout, you know, that they gave us.
The way that they built the anticipation for the album, I think, like, little stuff like that will cause me to maybe listen to the album more often. You know what I'm saying? So I think at the same time, like, there has to be responsibility on the artist as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like, promote, build some anticipation for your music, for me to maybe even want to listen to it again. You know, there was a time where the single would drop, and you would hear that single for at least maybe a month before the album dropped.
If not longer, you know, an album release, it would be a full year. Now,
and there was a video that went along with it too. That's the important component. Somebody left it out and mentioned it in the comments in the chat.
I mean, I think video budgets, you know, they went really extreme, dialed all the way back, were more authentic with the street look. Now it's kind of optional or cheaply done, and there's no central place to kind of gather and look at them. And then, too, with the access of the internet, is somebody going to sit around and wait for, even if someone were to do a countdown show per se, are they going to wait for that? I don't know. Somebody try it and see. Trent, what did you have to add?
We just listen to music differently now. I think older
consumption-wise, how we listen to it,
older people, like I'm putting myself in this category, we listen to music the way that we used
35 and up, 40 and up, somewhere in there.
We don't. We appreciate the music because we've been listening to it a certain way for such a long time. I at least haven't really shifted and adapted to this new, style of music. But I think the younger kids, they in and out, viral, whatever. It's just a different musical experience from generations.
And I also think they experience it in bits because of TikTok and things like that. There are moments in a song, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, a short part of a verse that they grasp onto, but may not really be into the whole thing of it. Andy?
You touched on sequencing as well, too. With hip hop, it became the mixtape. The mixtape was more popping sometimes than the album. And a lot of the times on the mixtapes, these rappers will be rapping on other people's beats. So there was no sequencing. It was just, you know, a showcase of their lyrical ability or whatnot. So I think that kind of took away from, you know, crafting an album, you know what I'm saying, making sure everything sounds sonically and smooth.
Because
That's
it took
been
the
lost.
I mean, we've talked about it. There's no artist development.
100%.
So taking A&R and AD out of the process too, you know, the positive side, we got some classic mixtapes. We got a lot of material that we would not have been able to experience because the labels would not have let it go, right? But at the same time, it made a lot of artists believe and not understand what the quality control was within the label and some of those markers that they put up and some of those, you know, guiding. It was lost because, hey, we're popping. We're popping, Five. What we need you for? And I feel that side of it too. Speaking of hip hop and doing things their own way, Tyler, the Creator, shout out to him. We know he always does things to his own vibe. And in a world where the industry runs on Hennessy and hustle, right? Tyler has quietly never indulged. And now he's reflecting on what that has meant to his mindset as well as his career. This was in a conversation with Ebro from Hunt 97 in New York.
I want to reiterate for the audience, too, like, you don't smoke.
No smoke.
No drink.
I've never been drunk in my life. Nothing.
You will have a drink now?
I have no interest in it. Maybe like 10 years, me and wifey on the boat. I'm like, okay, let's do that, and then we'll try Molly.
But it hasn't become an interesting thing for you yet.
Just not for me now. It'll definitely be wine, though. Wine seems
Of
like
course.
my dick.
Do you think
That
we
seemed
thought
like my
there was
dick.
anything else than
Wine?
obnoxiously expensive wine?
Wine and cookies.
Yeah, it's the only
Bro,
way.
that seems sick. At some point, though. And I'm not against, I don't say that like, oh, like
Yeah.
I'm against it, and like all my boys, you know, they be on that time.
So I think that is important. I mean, I mentioned Hennessy and hustle culture. We know weed, which used to be kind of, you know, déclassé. You smoked a J and you were being all types of, you know, daring. You were doing something. You were being edgy, right? And now it is smoke weed every day, basically.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
you know, it is a functioning tool, and it is cannabis now, and it is medicine. And I'm not saying it's not all of those things, but the point being, where culture, not just hip hop culture, but culture at large is much more open to drinking and smoking and things that were considered, you know, reckless, lawless, not of high moral standing, to be deep in the music industry and still say, nah, I'm good. I'm not crashing what you're doing. I can function while you're functioning, but I'm not interested in that. I think is very respectful. And we know, I just have a lot of respect for his artistry and how he conducts himself as far as this industry goes. Trent?
I can appreciate sobriety, especially in an industry that is concentrated with making you an addict and derailing you with, you know, liquor and booze and everying else. So
Look at what happened with Diddy and the assistant.
So I
don't trust you if you're not loaded.
But also, I'm not even gonna say that because I was about to take it far left. But no, it's because it can really get in the way of your creativity, your productivity, a lot of things. So I greatly appreciate that. But also, just like he said, one day when he does try, it's just gonna be like a downward spiral. That's probably when he's done making all his money and doing everything he wants to do.
He said when he's on a yacht with wifey, you know,
his new
having
job will
his
be
Magic
drugs.
Johnson summer. You said his new job will be drugs.
Yeah, totally.
Don't say that.
But that's typically what happens when you've done everything that you want to do and you've checked all this stuff off, and then what else is there to do? Either you turn into a big time freak in the bedroom, or you're out here on drugs having a good time.
No, you could just be one with nature, experiencing
That
and,
too, but
you know,
after living this life of repression with everything around you, you're gonna cut loose and just turn in. I don't know.
Andy,
considering how colorful Tyler the Creator is, it'd probably be best for him to not indulge.
I mean, I get that
You feel
because
me?
it might take him too
100%.
far into the
Yeah.
ethos, and you know, we creatively drinking and drugging have been attached to high functioning, high performing artistry, right? We know a lot of our greats have battled with some form of addiction.
Yes.
But for him to still be at this high level, what are you saying?
Nothing.
Don't ever confuse it with crack.
No, I wasn't even thinking. I wouldn't even think about that.
Whitney
Houston. Hunter Biden.
And he's like, what is that from Whitney Houston in the interview with Diane Sawyer? Shout out to that. Listen, coming up, we have an interview with the stars of Peacock's Twisted Metal. This is a real life version, I guess, of the popular video game series from PlayStation. It stars Anthony Mackie as John Doe and Stephanie Beatriz as Quiet. Her name is Quiet. So season 2 just dropped. It's full of a lot of surprises. There are a lot of things characters, that's what I mean, that will be introduced this season that fans were really excited about in the video game. So we had a chance to chat with them. You're going to check that out when we come forward. Enjoy your weekend and make sure you're tapped in next week because I got tickets to Babyface and Charlie Wilson, the Hollywood Bowl, y'all, and another concert. So make sure you're locked in. If you guys
don't call, I'll call.
Trent the artist, follow him on social media. I'm at Stiletto Jill. Shout out to Andy. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Your ride with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
You have cancer. The 3 words no one wants to hear. Of the cancers that impact our community, lung cancer is the most dangerous. More people succumb to lung cancer than colon, breast, and prostate combined. Black men are 12% more likely to develop lung cancer, and cases for Black women are rising. Early detection and comprehensive treatment is the best way to beat this dreaded disease. Providence is a research leader in multi-cancer early detection, offering blood tests that identify fast-spreading cancers that don't show symptoms in early stages. The Providence Los Angeles Integrated Network Cancer Program determines best protocols for each patient, interacting with specialists who share experiences, perspectives, and new findings specific to each case. With over 1,000 board-certified physicians, including top oncologists, surgeons, radiologists, and nurse specialists, Providence delivers whole-person care that understands your culture, values, preferences, and priorities. So, if you hear the words "you have cancer," all you need is faith and providence.org/cancer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at WalkGoodLA. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi everyone, my name is Raquel Graham and I have a big announcement to make. I have my own radio show. It debuts on KBLA 1580 on August 2nd and it is called Entrepreneuring. I'm an inventor, a Shark Tank winner, entrepreneur for over a decade, and a proud mom of 2. I created this show because I know firsthand that entrepreneurship doesn't have just one look. Entrepreneuring celebrates what building a business really looks like. Big, medium, small, and micro. Some of us are running multi-million-dollar operations. Some of us are braiding hair in our kitchens. We're bakers, grant writers, laundromat owners, event promoters. Mark your calendars. Please tune in August 2nd, KBLA 1580 at 1 p.m. Pacific time. No question is too big or small. Let me know what you'd like for me to cover. See you then.
Nearly 7 million Americans aged 65 and older are living with Alzheimer's disease, or AD. But did you know that black adults aged 65 and older are twice as likely as white adults to develop AD? You may be able to reduce your risk by managing conditions like diabetes and high blood pressure, being physically active, eating healthy, and exercising your mind. To learn more about AD, the importance of early diagnosis and intervention, and a potential treatment option, visit treatallzearly.com. That's treatallzearly.com. This message is brought to you by AZI.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Now back to more entertainment news with Jill Munroe on KBLA Talk 1580.
Starting off 7 months apart, a tournament full of killers and feelings. Is this star-crossed lovers, trauma bond, or a little bit of both in season 2?
The first person that's mentioned trauma bonding. I don't know that John and Quiet would call it that, but probably a little bit.
No, there's no trauma here. I am
Not
romantic. I am 100% invested, involved, and want my quiet for myself.
Sure, yes. But
I mean,
there is a lot of trauma in this world. I do think there's some star-crossed elements, right? Like they come together and then they're, in your words, torn apart. And then they come together again, and are they going to stay together? And what's going to happen? Are they going to be teammates? Or are they going to be adversaries? It remains to be seen in season 2.
So Quiet's got a mentee this season. John has a long-lost sister. How did those dynamics shake up the connection that they connected with or got to in season 1?
Well, it took some of the focus away. I think for John, his love and appreciation of Quiet has never wavered. Even at the end of the first season, he was willing to risk it all. He was willing to give up everything. He was willing to throw it all away for Quiet. And she said no. He sees her again, and it's the exact same thing. I want it all, and I want it now. You, buckets of you. And she's like, maybe I'll think about it. Like, who says that? Who does that?
Because sometimes I think, our show really has this element of like nostalgia, and there's a bit of our own adolescence in there, right? And Quiet and John really are living through a bit of their own adolescence. Yes, they're adults, but they've never had these experiences before. They've become adults in this horrifying time of this apocalypse, and they're trying to survive moment to moment. And this is really the first time that they've each experienced like, this, are we a team? Is this like are we really doing this? And like any time that you experience that as an adult, you can go forward and then backward and then forward again. So I think it's cool to watch them experience that and tap into our own adolescent stories in that way.
So Anthony, this season we see John struggling with belonging, especially now that finally has the family that he's always wanted, kind of complicated. What is his thought process towards working that aspect out this season?
Well, with John, it's really he's used to being on his own. He's used to being an outsider. He's used to survival mode. And now he's finally in a position where his survival is no longer in question. So, you know, I really believe that he's truly vested and 100%, you know, behind the idea of being with Quiet. Like everything he's ever wanted, Quiet is. And, you know, when his sister comes along, it's the idea of, okay, now my real family is here. So how do I formally take these two things and make them one? How do I, you know, split my focus, but also at the same time, I trust and admire Quiet and listen to Quiet more than I do my own sister. So she's the closest to me. So instead of a split of focus, it's almost a shared focus for him.
So, Stephanie, we see Quiet this season go through a bunch of different things, really, but was there a particular scene that demanded emotional vulnerability for you that sticks out this season?
I don't know that it was a particular scene. I do think like the journey over the course of the season was constantly kind of shifting and the ground was always shifting and changing under Quiet's feet, you know, like, is she going to be with John? Is she not going to be with John? Is she going to keep her word to Dollface? Does Dollface's ethics line up with her own? How much is she willing to give and risk for Mayhem to be safe at any given time? Like, what happens in this tournament and who wins? Like, can a team win? Is it a single winner? Like, how does this all work? And so to me, like, the ultimate goal is just to try to keep it grounded and real and honest at all times, whether it's something risky or if it's like, you know, a fart joke.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Former President Joe Biden says minority communities are under attack by the Trump administration.
You know, and they're doing it all too often with the help of a Congress that's just sitting on the sidelines.
Speaking at the annual gala of the National Bar Association, which is the nation's oldest and largest network of black legal professionals,